Can you imagine a world where politics and cybersecurity are so intertwined that one cannot exist without the other? Well, welcome to the 21st century, where this is our reality. The intersection between politics and cybersecurity has grown so much that it's hard to discuss one without the other. But why is this? How did we get here? In our digital age, information is power. It influences our decisions, shapes our perceptions, and can even sway the tides of politics. And where there is power, there's a struggle to control it. Cybersecurity has become the shield, and at times the sword, in this battle. Politicians and governments worldwide recognize the potential of digital platforms. Campaigning has moved from the physical to the virtual, and with it, vulnerabilities have surfaced. Cyber threats such as hacking and information leaks can undermine political stability, tarnish reputations, and even influence election outcomes. The stakes are high, and the battlefield is vast, spanning across nations and infiltrating our very homes through the screens we are glued to. This intersection isn't limited to just election campaigns either. Policies on national security, international relations, and economic growth are all influenced by cybersecurity. Governments are investing heavily in securing their digital infrastructure, making cybersecurity a political priority. Moreover, the rise of cyber warfare has brought a new dimension to international politics. State-sponsored cyber attacks are becoming common, with nations using them as a tool for political influence and control. The fallout of such attacks can be immense, disrupting economies and causing political upheaval. So the question isn't whether politics and cybersecurity intersect, but rather, how deep this intersection goes. Cybersecurity isn't just about protecting your personal information anymore. It's about safeguarding our political systems, our democracies, and our way of life. As we delve deeper into the digital age, the line between politics and cybersecurity blurs even more, setting the stage for a new kind of warfare. But how did we get here? How has the landscape of cybersecurity threats in politics evolved over time? To understand the present, we must delve into the past. In the early days of the internet, cybersecurity threats were primarily focused on monetary gain, or causing a bit of digital havoc. However, as the world moved towards an increasingly connected society, the nature of these threats began to shift. In the late 90s and early 2000s, digital threats were still seen as a nuisance rather than a serious concern. The few instances of politically motivated cyber attacks were often dismissed as the actions of lone wolves or small groups of hacktivists. But the seeds of change were being sown. As we moved into the mid to late 2000s, state-sponsored cyber warfare began to emerge. Nations saw the potential to not only defend their own digital infrastructure, but also to attack the infrastructure of their enemies. This was a game changer. Cybersecurity was no longer just about protecting against hackers, it was about national security. The year 2010 marked a turning point. The Stuxnet worm, widely believed to be a creation of the United States and Israel, targeted Iran's nuclear program. This was the first known example of a cyber weapon being used to cause physical damage. From then on, the evolution of cybersecurity threats in politics accelerated. The 2016 US presidential election brought the issue to the forefront of public consciousness. Accusations of foreign interference through cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns have changed the way we think about election security. Over time, these threats have become more sophisticated, more widespread, and more impactful. They've moved beyond simply defacing websites or stealing information. Today, they have the potential to disrupt democratic processes, spread misinformation, and create political instability. From influencing election outcomes to causing political unrest, cybersecurity threats have evolved to become a significant player in the political arena. You might ask, what do these cybersecurity threats actually look like in the real world? Let's delve into a few case studies without pinpointing specific names or countries to maintain an impartial stance. Imagine a scenario where a leading political party's internal communications are compromised. A group of cybercriminals infiltrates the party's email server, gaining access to sensitive information, strategic plans, and private conversations. The breach goes undetected for weeks, during which the hackers meticulously gather data. Once discovered, the damage is profound. The party's reputation is tarnished, public trust is eroded, and the political balance is potentially tipped. In another instance, consider a cyber attack on a nation's election infrastructure. Sophisticated threat actors target the electronic voting system, manipulating vote counts in subtle ways that are hard to detect. The integrity of the election is compromised, leading to widespread doubt about the legitimacy of the results. This not only undermines the democratic process, but also fuels social unrest and uncertainty. Lastly, let's look at a case where disinformation campaigns are weaponized. Cybercriminals create fake news websites and social media accounts, spreading false narratives designed to manipulate public opinion. These misinformation campaigns can stoke political tensions, sway elections, and even incite violence. The ripple effects of such campaigns are far-reaching, influencing not just political landscapes but also social harmony. In each of these cases, the consequences extend far beyond the immediate victims. The fallout affects entire nations and their citizens, impacting public trust, national security, and the very fabric of democracy. The tools and techniques used by threat actors continue to evolve, making the task of securing political cyberspace increasingly complex. These cases underscore the tangible and often devastating effects of cybersecurity threats in politics. It's a stark reminder that in our interconnected world, cybersecurity isn't just a technical issue. It's a fundamental aspect of modern political life. So, where do we stand today and where are we headed in the future? In the current landscape, cybersecurity threats in politics have become a norm rather than an exception. Today, we find ourselves in a digital battlefield where information warfare is waged, with politics being the epicenter. The sophistication of these threats has increased exponentially, from basic phishing scams to complex state-sponsored attacks targeting political infrastructures. According to the Global Cybersecurity Index, a staggering 75% of countries are not prepared to repel cyber threats. This is a stark reminder that we are in a constant race against time to stay ahead of cybercriminals who are relentlessly innovating and evolving their tactics. Let's shift gears and look into the crystal ball. What does the future hold for cybersecurity threats in politics? Well, one thing is certain: the threats are not going away. They will continue to morph and multiply. The consensus among experts is that we will witness an escalation in the frequency, scale, and sophistication of cyber attacks. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, for instance, are double-edged swords. While they can bolster our defenses, they can also be weaponized to create more potent threats. Imagine deepfake videos being used to manipulate public opinion during an election, or AI-driven bots spreading misinformation at an unprecedented scale. In the realm of geopolitics, nation-states will continue to exploit the cyber domain for political gain. Cyber espionage and sabotage will likely remain key tools in their arsenal. We might also see an increase in cyber diplomacy, where nations negotiate cyber norms and regulations to avoid catastrophic conflicts. The rise of quantum computing poses another challenge. This technology could potentially render current encryption methods obsolete, opening a whole new Pandora's box of threats. As we continue to advance technologically, the complexity and scale of cybersecurity threats in politics are likely to follow suit. The future may seem daunting, but it's also an invitation for us to step up our game and become more vigilant and proactive in securing our digital political landscape. After all, the stakes couldn't be higher. As we continue to advance technologically, the complexity and scale of cybersecurity threats in politics are likely to follow suit. So, what have we learned about the intersection of politics and cybersecurity? We've taken a deep dive into the complex world where these two spheres meet, and it's been a journey of discovery, to say the least. We've traced the evolution of cybersecurity threats in the political arena. We've seen how it has grown from simple phishing scams and data breaches to sophisticated state-sponsored attacks that can disrupt elections and even bring governments to their knees. This evolution has been fueled by the increasing reliance on technology in all sectors of life, politics being no exception. Through our exploration of real-world examples, the impact of these threats has been brought sharply into focus. We've seen how political parties, governmental bodies, and even individual politicians have become targets. We've witnessed the fallout from these attacks, from reputational damage to serious national security risks. These case studies have shown us that cybersecurity threats in politics are not just hypothetical scenarios. They are real, they are present, and they are dangerous. We've also looked ahead at the future of cybersecurity threats in politics. As technology continues to advance at a breakneck pace, we can expect the threats to evolve in tandem. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and ever more sophisticated hacking techniques are just some of the factors that will shape the cybersecurity landscape in politics in the coming years. In conclusion, The intersection of politics and cybersecurity is a dynamic and rapidly changing field. It's clear that as long as politics and technology continue to evolve, so too will the cybersecurity threats that bridge the two. This is a reality we all must face. As we move forward, it's crucial that we remain vigilant and informed. Cybersecurity is no longer just an issue for IT departments to grapple with. It's a political issue, a national security issue, and a democratic issue. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT problem, it's a political one too.